Okay, think about this for a second. What if you could have one single financial tool that shields your money from taxes, supercharges your retirement, and protects your growth from market crashes? Well, today we're diving into a powerful but often overlooked instrument called an SDIC. It's basically a Swiss Army knife for your finances. Let's get right into it.
When most of us think about life insurance, we see it as just a safety net for our loved ones after we're gone. But what if that's only half the story? What if it could be a really active part of your wealth building strategy while you're still living? That's the exact question we're digging into.
And the answer is something called a Special Design Insurance Contract, or SDIC for short. Now, this is not your grandpa's life insurance policy. Think of it more like a financial hybrid that bundles together tax advantages, retirement strategies, and asset protection all in one neat package. So let's break down exactly how it works pillar by pillar. All right, so our first pillar is all about protection, specifically protecting your hard-earned money from, the slow drain of taxes. You can really think of this as your own personal financial tax shield.
So in this section, we're going to break down three really important things. How your money grows without that constant drag from taxes, how you can actually get to it tax-free later on, and, maybe most importantly, how this can protect you from what a lot of people are worried about, higher taxes down the road.
The real magic sauce here is something called uninterrupted compounding. Think about it like this. In a normal, taxable account, every year taxes are like this little drag, constantly chipping away at your snowball of wealth as it rolls downhill. But inside an SDIC, that snowball gets to grow bigger and bigger, without the tax drag, letting your money compound so much faster over time.
So you're probably wondering, okay, that sounds great, but how do I get my hands on the money? Well, the strategy is actually surprisingly simple. You fund the policy, the cash value grows tax-deferred, and then, and this is the really clever part, you take out policy loans against that value. And because they're loans, they generally aren't considered taxable income. This creates a really powerful stream of tax-free cash flow, especially in retirement.
And that is a huge strategic advantage. With so much uncertainty out there about what tax rates will look like in the future, having a pool of money you can tap into tax-free becomes a powerful hedge. It's like you're choosing to pay tax on the small seed of your contributions now, not on the huge harvest of all that future growth.
Okay, let's move on to pillar number 2. Here, we're going to see how this thing transforms into a powerful retirement engine, giving you a level of flexibility and control that other plans, well, they just don't have.
And here we're really talking about 3 game-changing features for anyone saving for retirement. The ability to contribute as much as you need, the freedom from being forced to take withdrawals, and the incredible control this gives you over your tax bill during your golden years.
Okay, just take a look at this chart. It really lays it all out, plain and simple. While your 401ks and IRAs have those strict government caps on how much you can save, an SDIC gives you way more room to run. And look at the withdrawal rules. No RMDs. That means your money can just keep growing, undisturbed, for as long as you want. You decide when to turn on the income tap, not the government. And this is where that control really pays off, big time. Because the income from an SDIC typically doesn't count as taxable income. It can help you keep your overall income low enough to avoid taxes on your Social Security and prevent those dreaded Medicare premium surcharges. That just means more money stays right where it belongs, in your pocket.
All right, pillar number 3. So we've covered tax efficiency, we've covered retirement freedom. Now let's talk about how this tool actually grows your money while protecting it at the same time. This is where things get really interesting.
What this pillar gives you is this really unique combination of benefits. You get the potential for growth that's tied to the market, but with the built-in safety net. And on top of that, it provides this extra layer of protection against things like creditors and lawsuits. So you might be asking, how does the growth actually happen? Well, a lot of these SDICs use what's called an indexing strategy. It just means the growth of your cash value is linked to how a market index, like the S&P 500, performs. So when the market does well, you get to participate in those gains, usually up to a certain cap or rate.
Okay, but what about when the market tanks? What happens then? This, right here, is the killer feature. It's incredibly powerful. Thanks to what's called a 0% floor, your credited interest rate will never be negative because of market performance. Think about that. You get to participate in the upside with none of the gut-wrenching downside market risk. Your principal is protected. And hey, let's not forget about another layer of protection. Now, the laws do vary by state, you'll want to check the rules where you live, but in many places, the cash value that's held inside a life insurance contract is shielded from creditors. That can offer a level of security that your traditional investment accounts just don't have.
All right, let's bring it home with our final pillar. Let's see how this tool builds beyond just personal finance and becomes a really strategic tool for creating a legacy and for strengthening a business.
And this is where you really see the sheer versatility of the SDIC shine through. It serves two super critical functions: making sure your wealth passes to the next generation as efficiently as possible, and providing some really clever solutions for business owners. And both of those, ultimately, just lead to peace of mind.
You know, at the end of the day, it's still a life insurance contract, and that means there's a guaranteed death benefit. The crucial part is that this benefit is paid to your beneficiaries income tax-free, and it completely sidesteps the whole probate process, which, let me tell you, can be a long and expensive headache. It's just an immediate, efficient transfer of wealth. And if you're a business owner, oh man, the possibilities are huge. STCOCs are used all the time to fund things like buy-sell agreements or to insure a key employee whose loss would just cripple the company. They're also used to create really attractive benefit packages to keep your top talent. It's just an incredibly flexible tool to have in your corporate toolbox.
Okay, so let's pull it all together. We've walked through the 4 pillars, right? The tax shield, protecting your money from taxes. The retirement engine, giving you control and flexibility. The growth protector, offering you those market gains with no market losses. And the legacy and business tool. I mean, when you put them all together, you really do have a true financial multi-tool.
You know, this quote from our source material just nails it. It's not just one thing. It's this all-in-one, integrated strategy that tackles multiple financial goals at the same time: protection, growth, taxes, and retirement, all within a single, elegant solution.
And that really brings us to the big question, the one I want to leave you with today. As you look at your own financial strategy, ask yourself, is it really ready for a world of rising taxes and all this market uncertainty? Is it prepared to offer you growth with protection and tax-free income when you need it most? It's a really important question to think about. Thanks for joining me.